shit. Pew pew.
Yes.
If I had the cup, bro, I'll do some Tombstone with the mug, you know.
Right.
What is going on? How is all the rootin' tootin' badasses
Trying to get that
hanging out with the Samurai Guy and Retro Leo back again on the channel? What's going on, man? Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and talk about this movie. Actually, first, let's say hi to the Movie Dojo Army here. Let's see what we got. We got Eric Plantier in the house, certified badass channel member. That's right. We got Mike Swift, said he loved this movie. Shogun loved this movie. Oh, well, hello. It's another legend. That's right. Omniblast in the house. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We got John Martinez. Let's start the ruckus. And John saying, what's up, Retro Leo there?
What's going on, Mr. Martinez?
Oh, man. So, before we jump into it, what was the last... Because remember, there's all different types of Westerns. There's slow burn, but really great story told Westerns with maybe just one duel at the end, but it's a really good movie.
Right.
And then there's just guns a-blazing, entertainment, popcorn fun. What was the last great Western? I'll put it this way. What was the last entertaining Western you've seen? Like entertaining.
You know, it was kind of a horror Western / a mixture of Bone Tomahawk.
Okay.
So I guess that doesn't quite count as a Western, but I feel like it does.
No, it does. It does.
But
I love that movie, but yeah.
There's a lot of good Westerns, obviously. There's like a lot of those like Westerns that are like hybrids, like Cowboys and Aliens, that like I just like really enjoy. But there's like the classic Westerns, obviously, like, obviously Tombstone. I mean, we could talk about Tombstone forever.
Oh, I know, for sure.
There's a couple I've got to see, though. There's a lot of classic ones I need to see. So
which ones?
Like The Magnificent Seven. There's
classic.
I haven't seen Unforgiven. I know that was in the 90s.
Yeah, that's another great slow burn story, but it's really good.
I love Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner. I know people prefer Tombstone over Wyatt Earp, but I love that film.
I know you want me to revisit that one with you.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do that in the future. Yeah, we'll look at it again for sure. Probably for the Samurai Guy, the last entertaining I'm talking popcorn, violent fun. Movie that I really enjoyed was The Buffalo Boys, son. From Indonesia. That was probably the last entertaining Western I saw that was badass, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of love for the Magnificent Seven remake. Kind of fell flat for me. There's a lot of fans for it, and that's great. I'm glad you guys enjoy it, but for the Samurai Guy, it kind of fell flat, and I instantly forgot it after I walked out of the theater. But that's just me.
Right.
But there's a lot of great Westerns, and there's a lot of under the radar Westerns that are really good, and not that many people know about it. There's some Retro Leo is by far the best guest I've had. Oh my goodness.
You are so sweet.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness. But yeah, there's a lot of classics out there. You got Outlaw Josie Wales. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But this movie kind of really came out of nowhere. Like it literally just came out of nowhere. And I was like, oh shit, what's this coming on Netflix? Oh man. And then I didn't get around to watching it yet because of my busy schedule. But you were the one that were like, yo, you saw it before I did. And you were like, dude,
I watched the first 5 minutes and I and paused it and messaged you and said, bro, you gotta, and then continued watching.
You were only 5 minutes in when you messaged me.
I was 5 minutes in when I messaged you and said, you'll be hooked by the first 5 minutes,
Okay, well, was the Samurai Guy hooked within the first 5 minutes? Yes. We're going to get into it right here. Hold on a second. So, The Harder They Fall, directed by James Samuel, and I apologize if I said his name incorrectly, which is interesting because he doesn't have a long, huge resume of filmmaking, but he actually made a Western before this.
Okay.
And I actually want to see it now because I enjoyed this one. But plot synopsis: when an outlaw discovers his enemy is being released from prison, he reunites his gang to seek revenge in the newest Western classic we got going here. But yeah, the cast is insane. There's just so many people in here. We got Jonathan Majors, we got Zazie Beetz. I mean, we got our boy we got Big Driss up in the house. You know what I'm saying? Big Driss. You know, it's just a phenomenal cast. Yes. Phenomenal cast in here. And
one of the first Westerns with the predominantly black cast, by the way.
No, incorrect, sir.
Oh.
And I will save that to the end.
Shit, you got me. You got another one.
It's all good. It's all good.
All
right. Well, maybe.
No, I said one of. I said one of the first.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the only.
I did say one of the
first. All right. You're ruining my surprise at the end, man. God.
Shit.
No, I'm just goofing around. We're having fun here today. But yeah, so we got two rival gangs here, two groups. We got the Nat Love gang, which consists of Nat Love, you got Mary Fields, you got Jim Buckworth, you got Bill Pickett, and my favorite character of the movie, Cuffy. Favorite character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Cuffy is badass.
Yes.
And then you got the Rufus. Go ahead. You got the Rufus Buck gang, which consists of Rufus Buck, Trudy Smith, and Cherokee Bill. That's right. But we're gonna get into it here. But yeah, dude. The beginning of the movie, I was like, that's how you do it. That's how you introduced a villain.
Yes.
With no fucking around. You know, you got a nice, wonderful family sitting down, getting ready to break bread and thank the Lord. And then all of a sudden they get a knock at the door. And the father gets up and he goes to the door and he opens it up and instantly recognizes who it is. And he's like, oh God, this is not going to go well. And he pleads for his family's life. And I'll let you continue the scene from there. What happens next?
I mean, he literally says I don't know if he instantly, because I feel like he sees him, right? And he's kind of shocked. And then there's all of there's this portion where he kind of like looks him down and up for a second. And then his eyes get a little wide and he goes, no.
Yeah.
Like he almost realizes it. Like he knows something's bad. And then all of a sudden goes, oh my God, you know. But basically, I guess what'd you call him? Big Driss?
Big Driss, man.
Big Driss walks. So I guess we're in full spoiler mode here. Please watch this movie.
Spoilers. It is spoilers.
Big Driss walks in the room with his golden revolvers and just sits at the dinner table, points both revolvers at one at the son and one at the mom, and is just staring at the dad. And he doesn't say a word. Big Driss says nothing.
Yeah.
And all you see is just the fear in all three of their eyes. And the father says, you know, just your problem, your quarrel is with me only, not with them. Right. Don't hurt my family, basically. Right. And so you're thinking like big Driss ain't about to, you know, murder a kid and a woman, right? Well, he doesn't murder the kid, obviously, but he's literally just, you know, slowly all of a sudden points the revolvers at the mom and just
mom and dad get it.
Blows her away.
Yeah.
Double shot blows her away. I mean, it is intensely sad. The kid's screaming, you know, and obviously the husband falls to the ground immediately. And then, you know, Idris Elba Buck points the guns at him and he screams no and runs towards him and then he gets blasted away. And then they cut across into the forehead of the child. And then, I mean, it is just that, like I said, I just went, what? I must have messaged a couple people after seeing just that beginning scene, you know?
Yeah. And you notice the tattoo on the hand there, the scorpion, right?
Yes.
But Buck doesn't say a word the whole entire time. And that's how you do it right. That's how you introduce the villains, man. That's how you do it, man. For sure.
And I was a little bummed out too because I was like, damn, Idris Elba's the bad guy. You know, makes a great bad guy, but I was just kind of like, you know, you want to root for him, you know.
So you pretty much so you knew the twist. You knew the twist already before it happened. You called it?
No, I really didn't. You mean the ending twist?
Yeah, because up to this point at the beginning of the movie, we don't technically know it's
Driss.
We're assuming it's Big Driss.
I feel like it was odd. Like, I feel like if you were paying attention, like it could have been pretty obvious, but for whatever reason, it really honestly did not sink in until the ending, until until they were talking to each other.
The big reveal.
And I just went, no. I mean, I must have, you know, I realized it when the audience is supposed to realize it. And I think maybe if I had been dissecting the movie a little bit more as I was watching the film, I probably would have figured it out quicker. But I like I said, I realized it when you're supposed to realize it, and it was just like, no.
And it worked, and we'll get into that a little bit later as well.
Yeah.
When we get to that part of the movie. But so we just fast forward. So he carves a cross on his forehead of the kid with a special knife, and then they just peace out. That's it. Yep. Live with it.
The harder they fall.
Pretty much. And then we fast forward, and now Nat Love is an outlaw, and now he's basically he's kind of like Robin Hood in a way. Like they rob, they rob not rob the wealthy, but they rob other outlaws. It's like outlaws that rob outlaws. They don't rob banks.
Yeah,
like his group doesn't rob banks, but they'll rob other outlaws that rob banks. So we fast forward. Now he's a grown man, and he comes across a minister in his church here, and who happens to have the same scorpion tattoo. And of course, he's there for revenge. He's not fucking around. Like, this is literally the very next scene, guys.
Yeah, it's fast. It happens quickly. And you obviously see it because, he takes his hat off, and you see the cross in the forehead, and it's like, oh, it's him. Okay, he's grown up, right away. And like you're showing here, man, I mean, that's the third shot. He shoots him twice. Yeah. And it does this whole, okay, let's talk about like the cinema, like the directing, the cinematography and stuff. Because like when the movie starts, it does this thing where it goes like the reel slows down.
Yeah.
And then the reel picks back up. I don't know how to explain it, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then that scene,
it's like a flicker in the film.
Yeah. And and in that scene, when he shoots the minister, like he gets shot once, and it's like freeze frame. So like he gets shot, and it's like, and then shot again, and then it's really cool. And then he gets shot the third time, and he just fucking like flies 40 feet in the air. He's crazy.
I know,
and you're just like, great. Oh. But it was cool.
Thanks, Nate Dogg, for super chat there. The badass stream continues. Thanks, my friend.
But it was cool. It was cool to see us watching the son or the kid get retribution like so quickly, because the beginning scene is so impactful and fast, and Idris Elba, like I said, blows away the mom, and it's just like, fuck. I mean, it's a little intense, and you're just it feels a little good that he's like already taking out the hunt, scorpion hand.
He's on the hunt. Yeah. And then you find out a little bit later that he kind of stopped hunting for Big Driss. He's called Big Driss.
Big Driss.
Rufus. It's fun saying Big Driss. I'm sorry. Rufus. You find out that he's actually in prison in Yuma, and so he's in there forever. There's no point of me. I'm done. So he even goes to visit his girl that he hasn't seen in a while, Miss Fields. And because he thinks he's done because Rufus is in Yuma, and he killed the scorpion tattoo guy, so he thinks he's done. He's like, well, my hands are all clean. I'm done. I can retire and be with my beautiful girl here for sure.
She's the one that's in the Joker, right, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, and she's in Deadpool 2 as well.
Yeah.
She was great in both those movies.
Yes.
Very good actress, very talented actress for sure. But we have but like you said earlier, like the flicker in the screen and the film and all that stuff, you can tell when you watch enough spaghetti westerns, and I'm sure everybody's watching right now. You guys already know when you watch the movie, you picked up a lot of spaghetti western traits. Like this movie was a love letter to spaghetti westerns. Like the film flicker. You have these zoom-ins, like on the character's face. That was fun.
Yes, at the end,
you have these camera zoom-ins like this, like quick cut zoom-ins, which was fun. Just like eye ties, and there's all kinds of stuff.
The scene where he
love letter for spaghetti westerns. My favorite though is the Crimson Red gang that they came across from. That was the gang that was working for Big Driss, but they got robbed by the Nat Love gang. Right. But that was my favorite nod to spaghetti westerns, because that was basically a shout out to Django.
Oh, okay.
The Crimson Red gang. It was basically Django shout out, the original Django back in the day for sure.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of stuff in there for Italian Western fans for sure. And another thing that kind of caught me off guard, man, was I like the soundtrack, dude.
Yes.
You guys know how I am. You know I'm a metalhead, but I like all kinds of music. But I know trailers and movies, sometimes they get lazy and they'll throw in generic rock that sucks, or they'll throw in generic rap that sucks, and it's just they're just lazy.
Right.
If Retro Leo came to me and said, "Samurai, we're gonna make a badass action western. We're gonna have hip hop in it. We're gonna have R&B.
Yeah.
We're gonna have all these different genres, man. I mean, a little bit of reggae, all kinds of stuff was in this." I would have been like, "No, I don't want that in my western." For some reason, the way the songs were applied to the scenes in the movie, it all worked, man. I really liked the soundtrack. I didn't think I was going to dig the soundtrack.
I loved it.
Really liked it, dude.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. That was the bullet point I was writing down. I mean, it was just like the soundtrack, and there's a couple, I don't know in how many westerns where the characters start like randomly singing. It was only one moment. It was two, actually maybe it was two moments. Well, there was that scene, but there was the scene where the main character, Jonathan Majors, right?
Yeah, at the end,
he started singing to her actually at one point in the middle of the film.
Right.
And it was beautiful. I mean, honestly, it was just like, I was like, man, because I'm a sucker for, music and singing and all that. Yeah. And it was just done so well. It was just randomly, it was random. And he was just kind of singing to her. And then, like you said, at the end, when they were all going to the final fight, they all kind of started singing to each other. And it was, like I said, it was only twice in the movie.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It really worked. But yeah, I didn't think I was gonna. I think I was like, oh god, this is gonna bother me. But I really like the soundtrack. I might go out and buy it. I like the soundtrack, yo. But yeah, let's get back to it here. So our boys here, who's kind of like oh, go ahead, man.
Oh, I just want to say Michelle is a badass. I was just saying if she's still watching. I just want to throw that out there.
Michelle has been a badass for like forever, bro.
It's not everyone should know.
Omniblast, yo. That's right. Whatchamacallit? So, we have our boy Jim Buckworth, who's kind of like the Billy the Kid of the movie, and then we have Bill Pickett, who's like he's like the rifleman, man. He's like a sniper, bro. Yes. I liked his character. Everybody acted very well in the film. Did you recognize the actor that played Bill Pickett?
I feel like he looked familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the Blue Ranger in the Power Rangers movie. It's the same actor. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Wow.
I know, right?
Good for him.
I know, but it's just like, wow, look at the acting range from that movie.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah.
From this movie, you wouldn't even think it was the same guy. But yeah, they end up robbing. I'm gonna use this reference: the Crimson Red Hooded Gang, there.
Right?
And then they spare one guy, and they get information from him, and he basically lets our boy Nat know that there's a rumor going around. Roof is gonna get out.
Right?
Just letting you know. Nat lets him go. He's kind of pondering, considering, like, man, what am I gonna do now? I just came back home. I'm about to get back with my girl, and now this news come up. God damn it. I was getting ready to retire from an outlaw. He even tells that to her too. He's like, hey, we're, the Nat Love gang's we're really not doing anything. There's only 3 of us left. We can hook up, right?
Right.
And even she knew that's not going to happen.
She said, until you capture Buck, you're never going to be satisfied. Because that's all he's been doing, I guess, is this whole time is like killing people, or I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's keep it going though. But yeah, I've been very entertained in the movie, and Jim was doing a lot of things that was making me laugh, saying I'm so sweet, just shooting dudes.
Right.
He was a badass,
There was comedy.
And Bill's like, you ain't sweet. He's like, right. I'm so sweet.
And there was comedy, you know what I mean? There was like perfectly placed comedy and one-liners and stuff it was evident that it was going to be in the movie quickly when they robbed that gang. Actually, is when you started to see the well-placed comedy, and I was like, okay, I'm already digging this. You know what I mean? The amazing beginning, the beginning, and then you have the soundtrack, which kind of captures you right away, and then you have like some comedic elements, and it's like a Western.
Mm-hmm.
With 6 shooters. You sold me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But entertaining. The pacing felt good too in the movie. Like it didn't feel like there was the downtime and we're bored now. Where's the movie going? I never felt that.
It was. It was very linear. It had a nice story from beginning to end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But our boy, we'll get to him in a little bit. But how'd you enjoy the train sequence?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the train sequence was awesome. It was had a lot of, I mean, old school Western elements to it. And I love him, by the way. He was probably my favorite character in
Cherokee
the movie.
Bill.
Yeah. Just he's such a great actor. Yeah. And his eyes, there's something about his eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, I don't know. He's just got crazy eyes. But anyway, so the scene is they walk in and they just assassinate the train, guy who's driving the train. And it's crazy because Trudy, Treacherous Trudy is her name.
Yeah.
And she is like Buck's, I don't know if it's his lady, because they kind of allude to it sometimes, but it's more, maybe they're just more partners.
I think they're more
longtime partners. But she stops on the tracks with her horse. She's just on the train tracks with her horse and is just like staring at the train. And so the train instructor is like, honking the horn, has to stop. He gets out, she shoots him dead. They all get on the train and they're robbing everyone. And then they finally come up to the like one of the only white characters in like the whole movie, I feel like, that I can even remember, which was the kid. You know what I mean? That they get the kid, and he's got the rifle. He's like part of the military or whatever.
Yeah, they're guarding Big Driss, basically.
Yeah. So they go to the back and then they get Big Driss out. Big Driss. And basically he asks who can ride a train. It's the kid. And he tells him, kill everyone else. So it's like this awesome scene, like, slow motion. Everyone's killing everyone. It's, it's just cool. Not that killing is awesome, but it's a cool scene,
Yeah, it was entertaining in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these guys get it. And our boy Rufus is walking out. Got that little swagger as he's walking out. Know what I'm saying? He's being free.
Yeah, you're made to obviously, you're made to understand after that beginning scene, just gunning down the wife, and then this scene where he's just like, "Fuck it, kill them all." He's ruthless. Like he's ruthless.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck. He's just so. No. That's what you're made.
Especially being in prison in Yuma. And speaking of Yuma, check out 3:10 to Yuma. That was like one of the best Western remakes out there. Check that out. Right. Leo, if you haven't seen that one.
Well, thank you, sir.
Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, son. I think you'll enjoy
Christian Bale, definitely.
But well, back to talking Westerns here. But yeah, I forgot to mention earlier when our boy Jim was showing off with his guns. I'm the fastest, I'm the best. That's the first time you hear, you think you fast, you ain't as fast as Cherokee Bill. That's the first time you hear Cherokee Bill's name.
Right.
And so the movie did a great job of building up the tension to when they finally meet.
Yeah.
At the end, and it's kind of fucked up what happens too, which we'll talk about that when we get to it for sure. But yeah, man, entertaining. I've been enjoying the movie so far up to this point. And then when he gets back to his old town of Redwood, this was his hood, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ran Redwood until he got arrested by Sheriff Bass Reeves, played by the ridiculously underrated Delroy Lindo.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is such a great actor. He's a very underrated actor, that guy. And I was so happy to see him in here as the veteran sheriff.
Yeah.
The badass. You know, it was great seeing him in here. But dude, I was dying laughing when he came back to his town. And while he was gone, the corrupt sheriff / mayor of Redwood basically was kind of put in charge while he was gone, but he kind of took over, the town while he was gone. So, now that he's back, he's like, I'm gonna need all my shit. And that was a hilarious scene where we cut to, I forgot his name. I don't know if it was Wiley or something like that. But we cut to him like eating steak.
Right.
And there's this close-up camera shot on his face, and he's all like, you think he's talking to Rufus.
To Rufus, yeah.
He's just like, you gonna come back here? He's eating. He's like, you gonna come back here, acting like you a hot shot. Ain't nobody scared of you. Like this whole monologue.
And the camera's like really close to his face, and he's looking right at it. He's like, you best be out of here. Funk done with my steak.
Yeah.
Or something like it. He's talking mad shit. You know what I mean?
And you hear a knock on the door, and his man comes in, and there's nobody in the room. He's just practicing. That was hilarious, man.
And then he's like, Rufus wants to see you. And that's who he's pretend talking to the whole time, Mr. Tough Guy. Yeah. And he says, then the guys come in and says, Rufus wants to see you. And he's all, I don't got anything to say to that guy. It's so funny.
Get your butt outside.
Yeah.
And of course, Rufus shows him who's boss. Man, he
punches. Remember, he sucker punches him first. Actually, the sheriff gets a good one in on Idris Elba, and Idris is like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? He starts spitting blood, and so, so all of a sudden he throws another, and Idris dodges it and grabs the pistol.
Yeah.
From Treacherous Trudy, kind of from behind him, just snatches it real fast and just like you're seeing right here, just nails him in the face.
Yeah, that was great. And I love how he knocked out his gold teeth. And he
hit him.
He told the little boy, "Hey, little boy, come here. Grab that gold teeth, take it home to your mom. You guys are rich now."
You're rich now. It was a brutal scene too. It was done well, and it's brutal because he hit him another 3 or 4 times while he's on the ground. It is brutal, and then that third time is just like, the teeth come out. Yeah. Oof.
So it didn't take long for our boy Rufus to get back on top. You know what I'm saying? Show everybody who's boss. That didn't take long.
He let him live though. See, this is actually important. He lets him live, and he says to him, "We were friends once, so I'm not gonna kill you." Which is important, I think, because we just saw him brutally murder a bunch of people like he didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So it was important to see that that he, for whatever reason, had a soft spot. The fact just because they were friends, he was like, "I'm not going to kill you." Yeah.
And even our girl here, Trudy, she even calls him out on it. Remember, they had that conversation later. She's like, "You can't be trusting people like this and letting them handle everything." You know what I mean? Like, it was really good acting and performances from everybody in the film. For sure.
There was a quick scene after that where they come out and they're talking to the townspeople, and I guess what the sheriff did was something was going on where he was auctioning the town, or it was going to become a settlement town or something. I don't know if you caught that, but they were all talking.
He was corrupt, big time.
Yeah. So he was like, basically everyone that owned homes and businesses in this town, they were about to lose it all. It was going to be auctioned off or something like that. So the sheriff, even though he gets beat the shit out of him, you kind of feel bad for him. You kind of find out he's kind of like, he was kind of corrupt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
And speaking of the corruption, I mean, our boy Rufus got pardoned. That's another important thing I forgot to mention. He actually got pardoned from all his crimes. That's why they let him out, but they still killed everybody anyway. But yay, we got another Delroy Lindo fan. Hey, I thought I was the only guy on the planet. It's a fan of that guy's acting for sure. What's up, Adam? How you doing, man? And Bruce Lead says train scene was badass for sure, man. For sure, that was some good shit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Definitely. But we have a scene where our boy Bass Reeves, Delroy's character, he actually meets up with Nat, and they concoct I knew something was a little fishy because they were just talking to each other, and all of a sudden Nat throws, the whiskey in his face, and then he just arrests him for no reason.
Right.
But I had a feeling, I was like, okay, they're going to work together to try to get Rufus, aren't they?
Yeah. That's not
and
bad.
even his crew, the Nat Love gang, they were like, they didn't fall for it. They're like, they met up with them later,
Yeah.
They're like, what are you doing? You going off by yourselves?
What's the name of his actor?
You need our help.
What's the name of the actor again that plays the sheriff, the older sheriff?
Delroy Lindo.
That's the name of the actor, right? Love him.
Yeah, he's a great actor, man.
No, not the plays the older sheriff that arrested him and took him away.
Yeah, Delroy Lindo.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the actor that plays Bass Reeves.
No, that's the actor that plays Bass Reeves. Same character. Yeah.
Bass
Reeves is played by Delroy Lindo. So that's what I'm saying. The other sheriff / mayor guy that I forgot his name.
The guy that got his ass kicked and his teeth knocked out.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Wiley or something like that, but he had another name.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I know it's a little confusing because there's two sheriffs.
Yeah, I was like, which one are we talking about? Was it because I kept forgetting the characters' names, like that. Even watching it twice through.
Yeah,
I was like,
well, there's a lot of characters.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It really was. And I think they knew that too. That's why in the opening credits, they name each. You notice that they name each character, tell them what gang faction they're part of. Right. That was like right in the beginning of the movie. They kind of help people out because there was a lot of characters for sure. But still, I mean, it wasn't that bad to where we didn't understand what was going on. So so they team up. They're like, all right, we got to go ahead and try to get Rufus here. We got to take Rufus down. And interesting scene. I like this scene here when we have our boy Jim here, and he's showing off like he always does. That's his character. He's a badass. He's really fast, but he shows off a lot. And I like that scene where he's talking to, because even at some point, Cuffy ends up joining the group. Later, Cuffy ends up joining, and he has that conversation with her. He's like, "Ain't nobody faster than me," and then
he was basically. It was showing that he was cocky, a little overconfident.
Right. Yeah, and she was like, Cherokee Bill is, and she, no, he says, "Who's faster than me?" And she said, "The one in the mirror." She's talking about herself.
For sure, and they all laughed.
I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that foreshadowed the ending there. I was like, oh, shit.
And they all laughed at her, too. They were all like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And little did they know,
I know. Cuffy's bad, dude. Like, soon as you're introduced to her and she's beating up those dudes in the bar because they're fucking around, I was like, I like this character already.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And you notice she kind of doesn't really give Bass Reeves that much resistance. You notice that?
Right.
Like she kind of says, "You can't bring a gun in here," and he's like, "Well, my badge differs," and then she kind of lets him in.
Yeah.
But you find out later she actually has some sort of respect for law enforcement, and then she joins the law enforcement at the end. She becomes a deputy.
Yes.
At the end of the movie, so that's a little foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I like this scene here. Very well done. And then what else is important about the scene is when he's showing off. Bass Reeves he's like, "What do you think about that, old man? Yeah. And he's like, "I think you all gonna die." But Bass Reeves is kind of like, all this showing off stuff, man, is gonna get you killed.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what happens later. That's what happens later when we get to it, though.
Don't tell him. No, I'm joking.
Well, spoilers. It's a spoiler review.
I know.
All right. So they come into town, and I'll let you take over from here. What happened? What's next? What's going on now?
Oh man! So what part of this? Okay, so this is when they first come into town, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, and I don't know why I'm soft because I've literally seen the movie twice in 1 week.
Oh no, it's fine. No, so they come into town. They make their presence known. Unfortunately, Zazie Beetz' character Mary, she gets kidnapped. She goes in there to try to make a deal, which was a very bad decision.
Right,
that backfired.
Right,
and
because Buck was like, "This is kind of fishy that you're coming in here trying to make a deal with me right after I got robbed." So and then Cheshire Chudy takes a rifle right to her face and knocks her out.
Yeah.
So
it ends up torturing her later.
And so that's when they come into town, right? That's when they come into town the first time, is after she was kidnapped.
Right, and we have our first altercation between, which was kind of a funny scene, where Jim's trying to do the standoff,
right,
with Cherokee Bill, and then Cherokee Bill just ignores him. He just walks away to go. He's like, "I'm gonna get something to drink." Yeah, and then he's like, "Hey man, what the hell?" He's like,
"That's disrespectful."
He's like, "You know how long I practiced that?" It's hilarious, dude. Like, I practiced these lines, man.
Now I remember. Thanks.
Walk away.
Thanks for refreshing me. So,
and then Bass Reeves grabs him. He's like, "No, it's not the time for this.
No, it's not the time.
No, it's not the time for this." So, basically, to make a long story short, they end up having to bargain with Rufus. Rufus tells Nat, he's like, "Look, if you want your girl, I want my money. I want my money." But
he captured him, though. Remember, at this point, he's got him tied up.
Right.
Because he told what happened. He told them to tell. He somehow convinced him to tell them to stand down. Because Bass Reeves had a rifleman, which I think was Pinkett, right? Or was it?
Yeah. Well, they wanted to discuss. Well, it's because of Mary. They have Mary, so they're like, "All right, let's listen to negotiation." Basically.
Yeah. But then he had him. But I'm trying to remember how it went from that point to when he had him tied up in chains.
Well, he wanted to go talk to him.
And he was beating the shit out of him. Remember?
He just captured him and then started beating him. Kind of like what they did with Mary.
Yeah.
So, she went to talk, they captured her, and they ended up beating her up too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like with him. And then what was the little thing he gave him before he sent him on his mission? Remember?
Oh yeah. What was that, Mr. Samurai?
I believe I might be wrong, but I thought he showed him the knife.
Okay.
Didn't he show him the knife?
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he showed him
that
the
he
knife.
Sliced him in the head with, right?
Mm-hmm. He gave him the cross.
Okay.
Right, for sure. But yeah, so the outlaw that doesn't rob banks, he only robs criminals that rob banks, is forced, if he wants his lady to be saved, forced to rob a bank. And because Rufus is like, I want all my money and I want interest. You need to go rob a bank for this interest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, did you notice one of the security guards in the bank? Did you recognize him?
Who is it?
You ready for this?
I'm just gonna
show the photo to see if you recognize who one of the security guards was. Here we go.
What?
Do you recognize who that is?
Who is that?
That's Cowboy Cerrone, bro.
Are you serious? How in the world? Oh my God, that is Cowboy.
It's UFC fighter Cowboy Cerrone playing a cowboy in this movie.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, what the hell? I started laughing. I was like, what? Cowboy Cerrone's
I didn't even recognize him because he's got a hat on. You take the hat off and recognize him right away.
But yeah, that was kind of funny. But even he knew he had to back down. They were outgunned.
Yeah.
And Cuffy, she poor thing, she was forced to wear a dress.
That was funny.
Yeah, poor thing, and a lot of funny, witty dialogue between the characters as well, And she goes in there and they end up robbing the bank, but no killing. The manager of the bank was very, Nat gave him a proposition. He's like, well, usually, with bank robberies, we kill everyone, but we don't have to do that. He shakes the manager's hand, and then the manager's helping them out with the bags. He's like following them out with putting the bags on the horses. It's pretty funny. But yeah, now it's time to go back for the finale here.
Ooh, the finale, man.
And there we go, Coffee there in the middle, looking like a badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, so before they go back into town, they have all that money and all that stuff. And then what I wasn't expecting was our boy, the corrupt sheriff, ended up teaming up with them too, bringing them all kinds of ammunition and guns. And he had his dynamite, which was hilarious, which we'll get to a little bit later, what happens to him and his dynamite. But yeah, we're gonna sing a song, we're gonna lock and load, we're gonna get on the horses. It's time to start literally the fucking ruckus, son.
Yes.
Let's go.
The ending battle.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Now at this point, up to this point in the movie, Samurai Guy, I was already giving this movie a 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
I was so entertained by it up to this point. And when the shit hits the fan, it was kind of looking at first like it was going to be a small scale shootout, just a few characters. Because you notice, obviously the deal didn't go well, and that's like, fuck it, blow up the money. He tells Bill, blow up the money. He blows up the money.
Well, we got to talk about why the deal didn't go well, because
let's rewind. Yeah, go ahead.
So one of our favorite characters, Mr. Overconfidence, we'll call him, finally gets his chance to go one-on-one with Cherokee Bill. Now, this is where you get, man, I was a little pissed, man, because he basically tells him to count to 5.
Yeah.
And so he's taking his sweet-ass time with that sweet-ass grin on his face right there, just like that. He's just like, 1. He's just taking his time. He's like loading his gun.
Yeah.
And he's just like 2. You know what I mean? Like just taking his time. And then all of a sudden he says 3 and just a bullet right through the cheek.
That was it.
Dead.
Done.
And that's where they did the thing where you talked about the close, like all of a sudden does a cut, four shots of the 4 portraits of the main characters and their reaction to seeing him die. Yeah. Oh, dude, it's sad, man. And then Pinkett just goes, no. I don't know if he yells no or he yells something. And then, takes a shot at Cherokee Bill and just misses him. Misses him. Yeah. And it was pretty sad because you're like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like that's messed up. You know what I mean? Like he's on number 3 and just shoots him in the face. Like it was fucked up. So, so then that's where he's like, blow it. you know.
Yeah, fuck. He's like, fuck the money. No.
Yeah.
No, you guys killed one of our own. Fuck it. Let's go. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And then this is when I was like, yo, let's go. Because right after this explosion, you can tell majority of the town's folk that were there, they all ran away.
Right.
So that's why I thought, okay, this is probably going to be a nice, fun little small scale shootout between the few characters we got, and then the movie wraps up, right? Still entertained, still liking it. Oh no, nay, nay. A whole bunch of other villains and henchmen came back, and Samurai Guy was very pleased and happy. Like this finale shootout, it scratched a fucking itch, man, because I was like, dude, the body count's increasing. Yeah. My smile is getting bigger, you know. Love that Joker smile, okay?
Right.
Like I'm like, okay, yes, body count rises, Samurai's getting happy. You pleasing me, movie. Give it. But yeah, it starts shooting, shit hits the fan. We get some great camera angles.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. That was a cool scene right there where they're back to back.
Yeah, man. And everybody, and here's some other cool camera angles that we had during the finale as well. And so cool. Everyone gets their chance to shine, except our boy here.
Yeah. Can you show that last shot again, real quick?
Yeah.
I was just going to mention, like, look at the sets.
Yeah.
I just love the sets, like, you know what I mean? The colors and like just the intricacy, everything. I mean, that was the one thing I loved, just the whole set they created for this, the towns and everything.
Real
done
sets.
So well.
Real sets, unlike the $200 million horribleness that was Red Notice on Netflix.
Oh,
that was
God.
Horrible green screen.
Yeah.
$200 million for bad green screen. Good job, guys.
I'm not even gonna.
All right.
I was gonna watch it, but I guess I can't now. But so I guess it gets to a point, right? The scene starts progressing, and not only is this scene awesome, but then we start to get climatic endings for certain characters.
Everybody gets a chance to shine too. But you go ahead. Even our boy Bass Reeves, the veteran, like taking dudes out.
He was awesome.
Range.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, then we start to see some endings for some people, and it's pretty sad. There's a scene where I'm like, damn, I was like a little emotional, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where Pinkett is in the room with Cuffy. Did I say that right?
Right. Yeah, he's in there with Cuffy, yeah.
And so something happens, and he says something like I got lucky, and pulls out like this coin or something.
That's his lucky coin.
Lucky coin. It has a bullet through it.
He got hit earlier, yeah.
Had a bullet through it. He goes like, I'll be damned or something. Right when he says that, he gets shot in the back by fucking Cherokee Bill. The prick. The guy who already shot the other guy in the face. You're like, son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, because he was my favorite character. Then I'm like, God damn you, man. You're so shoots him in the back right in front of Cuffy, and Cuffy's just like, and there was a really, really amazing scene. Shoots him in the back, right? And he turns around and he's just like, like taking his last breaths and shit, right? And Cherokee Bill's just like looking at him. He's like, why are you doing that? He's with those eyes, that actor, dude, just looking at him. And he's just like, he says something like, you made a choice. He's like talking to him. Like, it was so weird and so dramatic.
And towards the end, like right before he falls over, he says something in Cherokee language.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered what that was. So I put the subtitles on, and he basically says to him, don't be afraid it's something similar, like don't be afraid before you die, like you're
in
going
the
to the afterlife.
You'll have bad luck.
Something like but
and then he falls
dude,
over and dies.
And then Cuffy, bro.
So Cuffy's sitting there just like, she's witnessed this.
Yeah.
And she looks at him just like, you didn't even give him a chance. Like, she's just so tears in her eyes. And she says to him, are you going to shoot me in the back too?
Dude, you just reminded me of another foreshadowing.
Let's see.
Remember the first time Jim and Cherokee Bill met,
and
they were talking shit to each other, right?
Yeah.
What did Jim say? Jim said, well, I heard, you're supposedly the fastest guy or whatever, right? And he says something. He says to him, he's like, so how is it shooting people in the back? He says that to him there.
Wow.
There was so we have another foreshadowing.
Wow.
There.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Back to Cuffy.
Gosh.
Cuffy.
Yeah, it's and he even remember that scene too between those two characters. He even says, it's about who's faster. And Cherokee Bill says, no, it's about who's alive and who's dead, or something like that. Like he's like, it has nothing to do with speed. He's like, it just has to do with who's dead afterwards. Right. So that was another foreshadow, because it basically meant that it had nothing to do with his speed. He just killed people, what I mean? But faster than they could kill him, but because he, kind of cheated, I don't know. But anyway, so
villain. He's a true villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cuffy
no honor. Fuck it.
Tears in her eyes, and she says, "Are you going to shoot me in the back also?" So she's got her hands on her pistol, and he looks at her, and he's got his gun in his hand, and he puts it back in his holster.
Yeah.
And they both draw, and so it does a close up on Cuffy's face, right? So you're obviously with her expressions and the thing, like her eyes start to get wide, and she starts to go like this, like that, like this kind of weird, like, oh, I just like almost like she took a shot,
right?
And so you're thinking that she was the one who got shot. Then all of a sudden it pans out, and boom, he was shot in the neck.
Yeah.
So she outdrew Cherokee Bill.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And he walks out. He walks by her, like he's like holding his neck, and he just kind of walks by her, and he just looks at her, and then just walks right by her, and then goes outside, and just has this like the music starts playing, this amazing soundtrack.
I'm gonna get the soundtrack, bro.
God,
I'm not kidding.
And he walks outside and just takes his hand off his neck. The blood starts squirting, and he just falls flat on his face. And if you watch that scene where he falls flat on his face, if they didn't do any scene cuts or any technology, any CGI, anything, if that was just the actor falling on his face for a stunt, he fucking he falls right on the dirt, dude, face first. I mean,
don't forget what she says to him when he walks by her.
What does she say?
She says, Beckworth was better anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you never know. He may have beat him anyway, regardless.
Right.
If he didn't have that proper duel. But Cuffy, man, she was badass. Seriously. But you see these quick zoom ins?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's so great, dude. That's a spaghetti Western style right there.
Yeah.
There's one hilarious moment. We're all dramatic now, but a good movie can do that to you. But I forgot to mention one funny moment when Delroy Lindo comes up, and he's by the wagon. Remember? And that one henchman comes up to him, and he's like talking shit to him. He's like, I bet my right arm I got a bigger kill count than you, right? And he's like, sure, whatever, right? Yeah. And then he walks away with Cherokee Bill. Boom, it was time. The wagon blows up, and then you see the guy's right arm fall down.
And he says to him, yeah. And then Bass Reeves goes, is that the right arm or the left? I was like, yes.
That's great. Dude.
Oh my God.
Laughing, bro. But I forgot to mention that earlier, man. But yeah, it was good shit.
That's funny.
Oh my God. But now my favorite kill in the movie. This is my favorite kill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Leo, by all means, tell us what happens here, man.
So he actually walks in the room, right? He has a super dope scene right there. He's holding this stick of dynamite, and I forgot what he says, but he's got some cool one-liner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he says like "duck, motherfuckers" or something. I don't know what he says. Throws it, kills a couple dudes, right? So super cool. You see this explosion. Cuts to a couple other scenes. So then it cuts back, and I think I forgot when this was. Oh, this was right after Cherokee Bill dies, because Idris Elba is like watching this happen from the window. Right. So all of a sudden Cherokee Bill's walking down the stairs, real slow, and what's the character's name again? The replacement Reed. Corrupt sheriff.
Which one? The corrupt sheriff guy?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Wiley or Whaley, but we'll just call him corrupt sheriff.
We'll call him Whaley Wiley. So Whaley Wiley is
Dr. Wiley.
So he's still holding dynamite, right? And he comes down and he says, I always knew it was you who turned me in, or who, you know what I mean? So when he said that, so he was referencing when he was originally arrested.
Right.
Is what I'm assuming. And so don't remember when that, because that happens. He says that, but when did he find that out? I don't. Was there a point in the movie prior that he found out he was the one who turned him in? Like, I didn't quite understand that.
Just what I mean? Before the best death in the movie.
Right.
But yeah, what happens next?
But he said that, and he kind of goes, and so he goes. So then he says, so basically says goodbye to him, and after he says goodbye, Whaley Wiley says, if you caught it, he says, I had no choice, or I didn't mean to, or something along the lines of I didn't want to. And as he's saying that, Big Driss shoots the fucking dynamite and he just explodes. I mean, it's epic. It's just great. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That was a really creative death.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Definitely my favorite death in the movie. But what did you say he said earlier? You said he said duck. He said something. He had some witty one-liner, you know what I mean, that he said before. I'm wondering if he said duck, you sucker. That's a title of a spaghetti western. That might have been what he said. Yeah, because I remember him saying egg. Duck. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I love that, man. This is a good movie. Yeah, man. But now with the big ending, we get to the big reveal. Leo, oh man, what happens? And I love how Bass Reeves is like, no, man, go in there and fuck him up. Oh wait, hold on. We forgot another big cool part of the movie. Oh, the fight, bro. Oh, this was unexpected. Yes. So they roll up and then they both drop their guns, and I really liked that. Honestly, I liked the fact that they're giving the women in the film the badass fight scene, because that's just traditionally always goes to the men, right? And it's kind of like, it's fucking nice to see two badass women duke it out, because it's just they never get the cool fight scene, you know what I mean? And that's what I really liked about this, was it was like full on, like, let's drop the guns and let's just duke it out, really cool. But the movie did a great job. It wasn't just a fun fight, right? But the lead up and the build up to it was great too. Like that one scene where she was torturing Mary, and that was really good acting from our girl here. There was when she was like talking about when she was young and that one girl was picking on her sister, and like and she ended up getting injured. Yes. And then she ended up, and then they found the other girl that picked on my sister. They found her with her with her throat cut. Right. I was like, oh shit. So there was already tension building between both of them since the moment they met, when she said, oh, Ghastly Gertrude Smith. Yeah. And she says, oh, well, I like to call myself Treacherous Trudy. So it must have been maybe a name she had gone by prior, what I mean, back in the day. But there was already just immediate, discontention. They didn't like each other. You know what I mean? Fun fight for sure. I don't know why she didn't kill her, but maybe she thought she did. I was wondering that too, because obviously that's how the film ended. We'll talk about the ambiguous ending. That was a little weird. Because basically, she was screaming. She threw this at her. She's trying to kill her. That was a horseshoe. I mean, that was. Yeah, she was trying to kill her. I remember trying to figure out the transition of like, when did the fight end? I mean, I don't. She grabbed the rifle and took. Oh, hit her in the face. Swing. That's right. And then it was like blood everywhere, and then she did the scream. Right. And then after that we moved on to the next scene. So I'm gonna go with, because she's killing all kinds of motherfuckers up in this movie. So I'm gonna go with, she thought she killed her. She thought she killed her. For sure. That's what I'm gonna go with. Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. Why that scream was badass, by the way. Yeah. But it was definitely. We definitely didn't. As movies have taught us, we definitely didn't see Ghastly Gertrude Smith die. Right. We didn't see her die on screen, so it's safe to assume they're gonna pull the Michael Myers, and she's gonna survive. But yeah, go ahead and talk about the reveal real quick, man. Oh man, so he walks in, right? So before he walks in, Bass Reeves says to him, "Don't miss." I don't know if you caught that. Yeah, that was gangster, bro. Yeah, when you got the sheriff going, "No, man, kill him."
Yeah, and he's legit, and he let him. He said, "Go take care of your business." In like 2021, like they both would have like went in that room together and made sure that dude was dead. But there was just something about honor prior to the 1900s, man. I mean, it was like that's what was so cool about the fact that most people wouldn't shoot someone in the back because that made you a coward. You know what I mean? It was the whole. I really liked that. But anyway, he goes in and Idris Elba is sitting, staring at the wall, kind of to himself, drinking some whiskey, actually. And he walks in and he says to him, pick up your pistols. You know what I mean? Just pick them up.
He wants to go.
Because again, this is the 1800s, we're safe to assume. He could have just walked in and blasted the fool. And that's what people these days probably would have done. He walked in, said, pick up your guns. You know what I mean? Like duel time. You know what I mean? Man to man, fair fight. And
mano y mano.
Mano y mano. So he starts talking and he's pissed. Jonathan Taylor at this point, that's his name, right? I don't want to say it wrong. The actor.
Keep talking while I'm looking for it. Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Sorry.
Nat.
He says to him, so Jonathan Majors is ready to go. He's ready to kill this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You can see the emotion in his face.
Waiting his whole life.
Yeah, exactly. And you got two powerhouse actors right now in this scene together. I don't think there was, obviously there was the scene where he was beating him up and he was talking to him and they were like making that deal with the money and stuff prior. You got to get me my money, rob the bank. But this was a scene where it was like they were face to face, eye to eye, and you were really about to see some acting. You know what I mean? In my opinion. So Idris Elba starts talking about his childhood all of a sudden. He starts saying like, he said, was your dad a good man? Is what he says to Jonathan Majors' character. And he says, yes, he was. And he goes, my dad wasn't a good man or something. And he starts telling a story about how his dad beat the shit out of his mom and
beat him,
killed
his mom.
And finally his mom stood up to him. And then he's like, and that was the end of her. She stood up to him and he took her out. And then he took all our things and left me alone.
Yeah.
So he's telling this story. And so obviously this is where it starts to sink in for the audience, where it's supposed to sink in for the audience. If you had already foreshadowed the storyline, awesome. But this is where it was supposed to sink in. And because I was so lost in the film, because I was just so entertained by the story, I didn't have time to critique and foreshadow. So that's why I got the surprise ending the way it should have been.
You got it the way, you got it the way you were supposed to get it. Yeah.
And so I think it was the line he starts to say like, so he says, his dad went off and he'd been searching for his dad, for all these years basically, and he couldn't find him. That's where I was like, I literally said out loud, oh my God. You know what I mean? I was like, because he starts telling the story, and then you start to see it starts to sink in for Jonathan Majors' character.
Right.
Because he's pissed. He's angry. At one point, finally he says, fuck this. He's just got his fucking pistol pointed at him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's pick up your guns. I don't care about your damn story kind of thing. Right. I don't care about what you're saying. Pick up your guns so I can fucking kill you, And all of a sudden the reveal comes where he says like, all of a sudden I found him one day and he was a new man. He was a preacher and he had a nice little beautiful lady and he had a son about
12 years old,
about 12 years old or 8 years old, 10 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it just starts to sink in, dude, for us, for Jonathan Majors' character. And you're just like, no. And he just starts, then he says, I think he says, you're a buck.
Yeah. He calls him Nathaniel Buck.
Yeah, you're Nathaniel Buck.
Yeah.
And
pull the trigger, Nathaniel Buck.
He says
pull the trigger.
He says he basically is describing himself and he's saying I got to this point where I couldn't kill my own brother, but here you are now willing to kill your own brother? You know what I mean? He's like, you've surpassed me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's like, fulfill your destiny.
Right.
And at this point, when Majors, because there's a point where he's looking at him, he's telling him, I found, then I found him, and he had a lady, and he was a changed man, and you see the dude, because his anger in his face, and then all of a sudden it's realization, just dumbfoundedness.
That's a hell of a reveal.
Yeah, and he can't believe it. He's like realizing, wait a second, you killed my dad, who was your dad, who beat your mom and killed your mom, and this is the vengeance that you've had your whole life, and this is the vengeance I've had my whole life. And it's like this, oh my God, dude, it was so climatic. And so Idris Elba's tearing up,
right?
And Jonathan Majors is tearing up, and he's just, Jonathan Majors at this point has his back towards him. He's just like crying, has his back towards him, and Idris Elba's walking towards him, tears in his eyes, saying like, you're a buck, Nathaniel Buck.
Yeah,
fulfill your destiny. You're a buck. Fulfill your destiny. And finally walks up to him, and he points his gun at him. He's not even looking at him, and it just shoots him in the stomach twice.
Yeah,
and then he falls on the ground, and he just boom, 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 and then he keeps clicking the gun 12, 13 more times. No bullets. He's out of bullets.
It's an emotional moment. Yeah,
he's so just fulfilling his destiny. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's the most unbelievable moment. And then the craziest part for me was they shoot to Idris Elba's face, and his face is just pure peace.
Yeah,
like it was. He was just in. He was in peace. Like he was like, it was destiny for both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And my favorite line in the movie, and I like when movies keep things gray. And my favorite line in the movie, he leaves. He kills, Rufus, and he walks out, and he goes down there and he embraces Mary, and she says, "Is the devil dead now?" And he says, "I don't know." That is fucking great,
right?
Because
he's
kind of in a way surpassed Rufus.
Yeah.
So that, I love stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It was amazing. It was an amazing moment.
He says,
when he said that.
No.
And he's in tears.
Great, good writing. Great writing.
Yeah. And a great way to keep it open for a sequel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For sure.
And of course, our boy Bass Reeves, the coolest sheriff we've seen and hung out with in a while. He basically makes it look like, oh, in that Love Dead, he died. Because they had the 3 graves. Right. The graves for Jim, Bill, and Nat. The fake grave for Nat. And then, he's like, I'm the sheriff. I'm the law and order. Around here, they're gonna believe me if I say he's dead. All right, don't worry about it. And then Cuffy becomes his deputy, and then they ride off. And I love how the frame. You notice the frame of the movie got shrunk in a little. Right. Like it was almost like old school pan and scan.
Classic. Yep.
Yeah.
And then obviously
the big reveal
pans out to what you see is Trudy, because she's holding her hat. She's got her black glove, her dress. Yeah. You just kind of see like the bottom left of her body and holding the hat. Like you don't see it's her, but you're safe to assume
it's her hat. It's her. Yeah.
So complete foreshadow.
Do we need a sequel? Not really. But I like it left open that way. But I'm not gonna lie. If they made a sequel, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do make another one, for sure.
Because I would love to see. I would love to see what what they do with this character, Nat Love. Like who knows?
Is he going to remain gray?
You can make this into a trilogy. You really could. I would. If the second film doesn't suck, you know what I mean? It's a definite trilogy. It's definitely the makings of a trilogy.
Omni says here, thank goodness it scratched the itch for you after that abomination, Red Notice, that utter travesty, that plague upon this earth that we watched last night, Red Notice.
She was telling me about that. I'm so bummed about that too, because I had a couple people that were like, "Yeah, watch it. It's awesome. It's funny." But like, I think they were, you know, they're not like movie critics like we are. Like we dissect films, you know. And I think the people that were telling me to watch it aren't quite movie critics. So
even if you turn your brain off and watch the movie, I guess you can have fun. It's a Red Notice review now. You can have fun with Red Notice with your family. The problem with Red Notice is that it's safe, it's bland, it's generic.
Yeah.
And the problem with it is that you have tons of gunfire, nobody dies. You know, there's no
What's it rated?
it doesn't have to be violent. You can have a family fun heist movie, but it's got to be fun. Rock and Ryan Reynolds had no chemistry at all. And
really?
the worst, I know, right? I know, right? But here's the worst. Here's the worst thing. Watch the first 15 minutes and tell me if The Rock does not give a fuck.
Yes, I heard you say that.
Dude, The Rock in Red Notice is so checked out. Did someone die in his family? Did he owe the director a favor? He is so like, well, we got to go over here and we got.
It is a Netflix. Well, I mean, it is.
Oh, I know what you're up to. We got to go over here and we got to do. He's so checked out.
I mean,
so
I wonder
fuck Red Notice. If you're gonna watch a movie on Netflix, watch this movie.
Yeah.
Don't watch the $200 million abomination that is fucking Red Notice.
Yeah,
and not even Gal Gadot in a bikini can save it.
I feel like The Rock was just like, oh fuck, this is releasing on Netflix, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's get this over with.
Dog, he's out of here. And I guarantee The Rock was downing tequila the entire time.
His Terramana tequila.
All right, let's rate this sumbitch and wrap it up, my friend.
Ooh.
Retro Leo, out of 5 stars, 3 is average here on the channel. What are you giving The Harder They Fall?
I am going to say 4 out of 5. Excuse me. I want to say 4.5 out of 5.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
There was nothing about this film that I didn't like.
Right.
When there's nothing that I didn't like, you know what I mean? It's really hard to put it under 4 stars, you know?
Right. So like I said, the movie up to the finale was 4 stars for me, but I was not expecting that much. I wasn't expecting a one-on-one fight that was fun, a huge body count, satisfying deaths, shocks, you know, chills, spills, thrills. So I'm agreeing with you, man. Samurai Guy's going 4.5 out of 5 for the movie.
Yes,
definitely. Really, I love it when movies come out of nowhere, and we didn't watch 5 billion trailers to a fucking movie. It's nice to just, what's that movie? Let's watch it. Wow.
Right.
That's such a nice thing. It's a nice
word of mouth. I mean, with so many things that come out all the time, would you have even have watched it if I hadn't messaged you? I mean, you know, I mean, not that
I probably would have, because it you know, big Driss in a Western at some point. Whatever. No, man. No. Thanks to you, I did watch it. No, I watched it right away. Knowing me, I'm so backed up with movies and stuff I got to do and watch. I probably wouldn't have got to it till later.
Right.
Next year. I mean, you never know, right?
That's what I was saying. So, I'm like, you have so many films you could be watching. It's like,
yeah. But
good
yeah,
movie,
man, definitely very entertaining. If they make a sequel, we'll definitely be there. Hopefully, it doesn't suck. Andre says right here, I think sequel should be Trudy getting a gang of new young outlaws for revenge. I'm down for that.
I think that's obvious. Like, that's kind of what was definitely foreshadowed. Like, obviously, I think Trudy's going to be the main villain of the second film, unless they do something crazy with her character, because they tried to plant a seed that she's not, like, you know, the devil, you know, with the whole, like, talking about her sister scene. So, you know, which was the same with Buck. I mean, he was like this ruthless guy, but then you find out, you know, like, you feel bad for him at the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which was crazy, because they really make you not like him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they make you know, you feel bad for him. You really do.
I know that came out of nowhere, you know, and that's this movie's big reveal did it better than the big reveal in the Magnificent Seven remake.
Which I don't know.
The big reveal. I'm sorry, I won't tell you. The big reveal the big reveal in the Magnificent Seven remake took away from what the character was supposed to be. It gave him an excuse. That's what's special about those movies. They're there. They're not there for the money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there for the fame. Some of them did go for the money at first, but a lot of these guys are starving, you know, because it comes from Seven Samurai. They're all Ronin, you know. Okay. So they did this to basically help those in need. You know what I mean? And giving someone an excuse it's just like, well, you just lied to your whole team of followers that followed you into this mission, because you had a reason,
right?
But they were like, fuck it, it just kind of took it, the heart was gone for me. That's just me though. But just for fun, if we're talking underrated, lost and forgotten, I'm surprised. So all of you badasses in the comments did mention it earlier, but I was saving it for the end. If you want to watch another entertaining Western or have a little double feature, go back to the 90s, son, and check out Posse. That's right.
So Mario this is Van okay. Peebles. So wow.
Yeah, man. Mario Van
But
Peebles.
I love how Stephen Baldwin and Billy Zane are still like the ones that are billed.
Billy Zane is great in this too. So yeah, Posse, very extremely underrated, but entertaining Western. So put that on the list, you guys. All right. But this was a blast. Always a blast having the retro one.
Yes, sir.
On the channel. That's
so
right.
Do you have anything planned for Ghostbusters Afterlife? Do you have a review talk planned for that next week? What are you going to see?
Is it this weekend or next weekend?
I know I'm going to be seeing it this weekend, actually, I think, with Michelle. So
that's when it comes out?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, seeing it with Michelle, huh?
Well, yes. So, but I'm super excited. But I'm down. Like, if you could somehow get out to see it within the next, like within 4 or 5 days of its release, right. I'm down.
So it is this weekend.
Yeah,
I would love to. I mean, because me and Lady Fat Blood, we're Ghostbusters fans. I would love to see it with her this week so we can review it for you guys on the channel. The problem is her job right now, man.
I know.
Like she's working like crazy, bro. So it's just like. And I really don't want to go see it without her. You know what I mean?
Of course.
We'll see. Maybe she'll get a second wing, guys, and we'll talk about it with you.
Absolutely.
We'll see. Or we'll save it and do a stream with you.
Well, say what now?
Maybe we'll save it and do a stream with you or something. That would be
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys, keep watching movies, especially this one. Hey, every millennia, they always say Westerns are dead. And then out of nowhere, we get a gem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So keep watching Westerns. Support it. There's some badass shit out there for Westerns, man.
Yep. My favorite
genre alive. Keep it going.
My favorite period flicks are Westerns and medieval times flicks,
Oh, shit. Look at that.
Swords and shields and Westerns. I mean, hands down.
I thought you were the sci-fi guy.
I love sci-fi. It's just one of those things. Like, I just love everything,
Yeah.
I appreciate all eras,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Even back to some of them silent films is gold, actually, that I've watched. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with the Samurai Guy. And before we go, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Love you guys hanging out with us and we're talking movies. But before we go, all right, Leo, say goodbye real quick. I got something to play. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
I'm going to remove him for a second. And then I'm going to remove myself. But, Samurai Guys got to give a shout out to the Movie Dojo Army. Take care, guys. Have a good night.